Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the 2 empty seats behind me. For some reason, Mish and Shizune aren't present, probably doing student council work for the festival. Or just ditching. It's very quiet without Misha present. That's nice! You should be happy. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Matao approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside of the classroom. Oh fuck, I'm in trouble. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Matao stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he is trying to say. Not knowing what is going on, I wait silently. So tell me, how are things? Things? I expect Matao to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You've had a week to settle in now, so how are things? We're fine, I guess. I see, and how is your condition? The pause before conditions seemed a little unnecessary. Haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Matao's face. Good, that's good. The school nurse was a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask that you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you would get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure that you know where those limits are and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? Well, that's always nice to have a school that actually helps, unlike our school system, which pushed me out of it because no one wanted to fucking help me. There's some bitter shit for you. Have fun with that. I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Matao taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there that realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. This is just depressing me. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Matao's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. I've always had a theory about this game that, if you took every single character in this game and combined them into one person, wouldn't it be a normal person? Don't you think so? Like they're all supposed to show you a different part of your personality, and whatever's strongest in your personality is the one that you like the best. I like Rin because my favorite thing is my scatterbrained and weird and comical, I guess, attitude. And I think that's why I like Rin the best, and that's why other people like Hanako best, because of the shyness that they have, and the understanding that they get out of it. It's just stuff like that. Interesting to think about, though. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's go back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Matao pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back in the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on their questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Matao doesn't even notice them. His return to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Matao and I left it in before our chat. So does Matao teach all of the subjects, or is he just the science teacher and homeroom teacher? Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Well, he is the math teacher, too, because he does math, too, so I assume he is... Yeah, and they have their specific classrooms and their classes, so he is every single teacher, or every single subject. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answer for those problems up by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to the last-minute festival preparations, or the sleeping like you mentioned before, but you're not mentioning now. Continuity errors. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako is the only one left, obviously waiting for Lilly. It's weird that Lilly comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally hard for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence. It's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. Wait a second. He's doing math problems. Why is he writing a paragraph about math problems? Continuity errors. The sound of my irritated sigh and a subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump from her desk and run to Lilly. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lilly leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. Once again being rude and not even saying hello. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though, slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. I like to read too, and I read pretty fast as well. Like, when I had most of the Darren Shan books, I would, tear through it in a day and then have to sit there for the months it took for him to get the next one out. It was horrible, and I still have to get his new series, because I read Cirque du Freak and I read the other one. But I really want to read the new one about Larton. If you've ever read the series, he's the teacher, he's the carnival person that gives Darren the vampirism. If you haven't read the books, really read them. They're very good books. But anyway. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there is nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. Another question I wanted to bring up at the beginning that I forgot about is, why are they at school at Saturday? The Japanese are so inhumane about school. Like, isn't Sunday the only day that they have off? That's cruelty, at best. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. Not to mention they have longer school years, less breaks. I think more frequent breaks, though. So I guess it's a trade-off. It's like a year-round school. I like year-round schools. I wish there were high schools that were year-round, because I really liked all those little breaks that just broke up the year. That just made me feel good, because, you know, you go to school for about a month and then break. Nice, long break. Like a week or so break, and then continue, and then a week break, and then continue, and then a week break. It was nice. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quick as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books at the dorms first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emi coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, Hisao. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide as it seems it always is. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she is examining me. What you doing? It's kind of scaring me how close she is. Nothing really, I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone seems to be doing something important. That's perfect, then you can help me and Rin. Oh, well, that's acceptable. With the festival preparations, I'm not sure I'd be much help. That's fine, I'm not much help either. Emi grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. She's going to kill me. The stairs slow Emi down a bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally running out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could just as well have stayed here waiting for Emi, had I known. So is Rin working on that mural still? That's right. She needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff. So I went to get them from the art classroom. Oh, by the way, for that book series that I mentioned, do not watch the movie. It's an atrocity. They cut it in half, cut the first book in half, and put the second book in the middle of the first book. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, but that's right. She needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff. So I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help you with that? Well, Rin told me you had already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So, thanks to Emi's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emi skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny, crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. That's disturbing. Next to the heavy stacks of neat... I actually just emptied out a paint can so I could make charcoal, but it had this weird chunk of this, just, you know, this green paint, so this weird green lump at the bottom, this dried lump. It's the weirdest stuff. It felt like silly putty. Boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smell of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form the unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to marking on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. Why doesn't she just turn and say, "Can you grab that for me?" Most short people in my house are like, "Grab that for me, get me that," you know? After a moment of building anger, she seems to start hopping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels. During the fraction of a second she can see them, and catching what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably, almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. She's crying, no. Why have you not helped her yet? Just standing there, watch her hop up and down, trying to figure this out. And you're just standing there like, heh. Oh, this must be so funny to watch the short girl jump up and down. It's kind of cruel. Now I see why me lending a hand would be useful. I am legitimately exasperated at how he hasn't done anything yet. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. And he says the rudest thing to say to her. Like, here, let me get that for you. Not, you're gonna hurt yourself, go away. Also, I'm like twice your height. He is so rude. You are not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Why would... I can see why he had a heart attack from a girl telling him that she liked her, because who would date this asshole? Okay, moving on. Just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging humph, she turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint wall below. Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. Hang on.